Will now be recorded.
In the last sessions, what we were talking about was all about baseline configurations in SAP FICO, right from company code until looking at a trial balance, P&L, balance sheet, whatever steps we need to perform, we had a basic theoretical understanding. Plus, we have also seen SAP screens. At this moment, everybody has got at least a basic idea now.
Yes, sir.
What is what? Not like that you're blank, I don't know what is what, right? Now you have at least a basic understanding, idea, familiarity with the terminology screen. This is first point that you need to understand, because for the first time we will not be in a position to understand and we have to accept the reality. Accordingly, we need to move on. Sorry. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll try to understand something like how do we proceed with configuration in a project. Assuming that you got a job as a FICO consultant and then you joined in a project. Maybe you're working in any implementation project or you're working in any rollout project. In this implementation project or in the rollout project, you need to work on the configuration. Here, you'll have to understand how exactly you will work on the configuration in a project. Now, as we discussed or as we understood in the previous sessions, you have the flow in SAP FICO, right? Before configuration, what comes?
Requirement guide.
Requirement.
Business requirement.
Right?
Business
Before
requirements.
configuration, we listed you will be working or you will be getting business requirement. So what you need to do first, you get business requirement. Based on the business requirement only, you will be in a position to work on configuration. In short, does it mean that without requirement you cannot do the configuration? Is my statement correct?
Yes.
Right, sir.
Right? You cannot do the configuration in any project without the business requirement. This is a valid point which you all have to understand even before you log into SAP. It is as simple as that. If you do not know what to do, don't do anything. If you know what is to be done, only then you get into the system. You are not sure, you do not know how to do, what to do, please don't even log into SAP, because it creates unnecessary, unwanted confusion, which will never allow you to feel comfortable, confident on the SAP, especially on FICO. Now, when you talk about business requirement, it's all about we as a FICO consultant need to discuss with business slash users or client to understand their requirement.
Yes.
Right? As a FICO consultant, we need to discuss with the business or user or client. You may be using different terminology to understand their requirement. According to their requirement, you need to do something called as current business process, and then you also need to understand expected business process. When you talk about current business process, it's all about existing slash old slash legacy system.
Right.
Current business process, they'll be able to tell you from their existing system or their old system or their legacy system. When they talk about expected business process, it's all about SAP system, right? They say that in my current system, this is not there, but in SAP, I wanted to have it. Something like that, they will be telling you. Now here, what you need to understand, two requirements from our side. First point, be in a position to understand business process of a company from accounting and finance point of view. Is this required or not required?
Required.
Required.
Right? This is required. You must be in a position to understand the business process of any company from accounting and finance point of view, because we are going to become FICO consultant. Second point, be in a position to map business process into SAP process. Is this also required?
Right, sir.
Yes.
Okay. These two are mandatory. If you are comfortable with these 2 points, only then it would be easy for you to get into the system, work in any project. If these 2 points are not satisfied, or if we are not paying attention on these 2 points, it is going to be a tough task, difficult task for anybody to work on the system. Basic fundamental points only, but if these basics are ignored, straight away we get into the system, we will learn SAP FICO, we will configure SAP FICO, but we miss something, and this missing will never allow you to feel confident. And this is what you will realize once you're in a project or once you're in the interview. Let us make sure these points we will permanently eliminate. Okay. Now, in every project, we will have requirement gathering or workshops to understand current process and to map the process with standard SAP process. In every project, you will have requirement gathering sessions or you will have workshop to understand the client current process, accordingly to map the current process with SAP process. Once this is done, what you need to do, once this requirement gathering is completed, we need to prepare some documents. Once the requirement is done, session is completed, you need to prepare some document. They are basically as is a document. First one we need to prepare as is document, meaning current process as it is. Understood? As is document is nothing but the current process as it is, without any changes. Second one is here,
To be.
to be document. To be document is the document with client expectation in SAP. To be document will contain client expectation in SAP, wherein client will tell, I want like this, I want like this I don't want this, I want this, I want here it should be working like this, here I want this control, that control and all. Client will tell whatever client expectation is there, all this you'll have to put it in the to be document. Here we must be in a position or situation to propose the solution for business requirements from SAP point of view. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Here you must be in a position to what? Propose solution for business requirement from SAP point of view. I say that when you talk about business requirement, you may be talking about the key process of process of any accounting and finance, which are basically general ledger accounting GL, accounts payable AP, accounts receivable AR, cash accounting, bank accounting, vendor payment, customer payment, bank reconciliation, taxation, fixed asset, depreciation, month and year end reporting, reconciliation. Different points will be used in any company, right? From the accounting point of view, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, half yearly basis, yearly basis, audit point of view, different point of view. You got my point?
Yes.
Right? Considering everything, we need to have at least a basic level of understanding. You don't have to be expert on it, but make sure at a basic level you know what is what. In a company, what will happen, how a company will think, how a business will think, how a user will think, how owner will think, how the finance manager will think, how CFO will think, how finance controller will think, how finance director will think. You should have at least a minimum level of understanding. Okay, this is how these level people will be expecting or thinking working in an organization. Tomorrow, when you become a FICO consultant, you will be visiting a client location. That is where you would have heard something like it is on-site project. Anybody heard on-site project? I am going on-site,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
right? When somebody is telling I am going on-site, it is nothing but you are working from the client location. When I say you're working from the client location, you will not go to your office. You will go to client office, to whom or for which project is being implemented, or SAP is being implemented, or SAP support is being provided. If you are there, people will directly approach you, right? They'll directly come to you, come to your seat, and they will call you to their desk or to their cabin. They might ask you, I have a query in this, I need to understand this, I'm getting this problem, can you help me, can we solve it, can you make me understand? At that situation, you should be in a position to help out, or at least speak, manage something, right or wrong.
Right, sir.
Right? You never know what kind of a project you will get into once you get a job, what kind of a situation you will come across. Make sure during your training, during your practice, during your preparation, you're equipped with all this content so that you feel comfortable, you feel confident while you're working in any organization, in any kind of a project. First thing, you should be fearless. This situation comes only when you feel comfortable with the subject. If you are not comfortable with the subject, confidence will not come. All you get is fear. You will be afraid, you will be nervous, you will be uncomfortable because you don't have that command on the subject, right? The only solution is to put right effort to understand the right content in the right way. You will not face any problem. And for all these things to happen, even before you log into SAP, even before you look at SAP configuration and all, I want all of you to understand what happens in a real project. How we will work, how you will get the requirement, how you will work on it, what kind of a problems, issues, challenges that we face in a project, and how do we come across it, how do you overcome it, how do you deal with it, how do you manage it. Then it will give you a light in your mind, right? Okay, if these kind of situations are coming, this is how we need to manage. If you are not aware, you don't need to worry, this is how you need to approach. These points will give you a kind of a clarity in your mind, how you need to proceed, what you need to take a stand, or where you need to approach. Once you ensure that at least for the standard business process, you are in a position to propose the solution. Here you need to understand two things. When I say you need to understand two things, one is SAP standard process, and then customized process. When you talk about SAP standard process, now SAP is in the market from so many years, more than 50 years,
Yes.
right? SAP is there in the market from 1970s. Now SAP is present only in one country, or it is present in so many countries,
Multiple.
right? It's available
Almost
in so many countries. Any country that you take, everywhere there is SAP. SAP has got customers all over the world. So it's a global product. Now SAP will have standard process. When we say standard process, from every company, from every organization point of view, SAP has already collected all the most likely happening business process. If you talk about accounting and finance, in any company, what will happen in accounting and finance, you know what is there, right? GL, AP, AR, all this kind of a thing. In any company, what they'll do on a daily basis, they will be recording the transaction based on whatever business that they're doing, data entry. And to
Yes.
do this data entry, you have different categorization, segregation, rules, regulation based on the respective accounting principle that is followed by an organization depending on different requirement, maybe for local reporting or for group reporting. Considering all this, SAP has already built a standard business process within SAP. Within SAP, almost for every client business requirement, there is a ready-made solution in SAP. Let it be from a master data point of view, let it be from a transaction point of view, or let it be from a reporting point of view. Almost for every industry, almost for every company, almost for every country, there is already a standard solution available or provided by SAP. All you need to do is understand that standard SAP process. Understand the standard SAP process. On this standard SAP process, if client is not happy, if client wants something else over and above the standard process, that is where you will go for customized process. Straight away, you don't go to any customization. First, you'll have to check if there is any standard process. If there is any standard process, pick up the standard process, work on it. If not, if there is no standard process available, you have done the sufficient information research on it, and also you have tried to convince your client to use the standard process. Still client is not okay, client does not want the standard process, he wants to, or they want to have the custom process which is their business specific, or the SAP solution is not meeting with the client expectation. No other option, you need to work on customized process. In this case, how you need to work, what should be the approach? Can you directly take the custom process, start work on it, or there are any priorities, prerequisite that you'll have to consider? Every point you need to understand. The reason why we're talking at this moment is it's easy for everybody to tell, okay, if something is not possible in standard, you can go for Z process, you can customize it, right or wrong?
Yes.
People will tell if something is not possible in standard, you can customize it, no problem. But customizing is a little tricky part, and it is not supposed to be done just like that, because you are creating something on your own, right? And you should be careful at every point. You never know how it will get integrated with different other point. After this, where and all client wants to see the impact in the reporting and all, you'll have to look at a broader point, which most of us may miss if you talk about customized process. Reason, we look at a minute level. Okay, this is the requirement, this is what I did, it's all over. But what about the further reporting and all? If you are able to think at this level, it would be fine, it would give you proper positive result. So first point, you need to understand standard SAP process. Based on the standard SAP process, you need to understand what is customized process, where, when, how you will do this customization. Now for this, what SAP will do, there is something called SAP best practices. Anybody heard something called SAP best practices?
Yes.
Okay, so when you talk about SAP best practices, SAP will tell based on the current market standard, based on the the research that SAP has done, they'll tell, okay, in accounting these are all the best practices which are used commonly across the globe. If you talk about accounting, accounting is common everywhere, right? Debit, credit, same logic, no matter whether you're in India, China, Singapore, Dubai, US. Am I correct or not? Because rules and regulations in accounting are common across the globe. So accordingly, SAP has designed some best practices and they keep improving it every year. Version to version, country to country, you can download it from SAP website. And these SAP best practices, if you go through or if you have a basic level of understanding, you're good to go, meaning you will have a sufficient understanding. Okay, this is the SAP best practice, or this is the standard solution provided by SAP in this feature or in this functionality. Even without getting into it, most of the best practices we are already familiar with, because we are all aware of at least the basics of accounting now, right? If you simply take some small business processes, like you talk about any customer, because any business main motto is to make profit. To do a profit, you'll have to do a sale. Now, to do a sale, you need a customer. Am I right or wrong?
Right, sir.
To do a sale, you need a customer. And if you are talking about a customer, customer is part of accounts receivable.
Yes.
Customer is part of accounts receivable. Now, accounts receivable has got a process or not, procedure or not. What is AR or accounts receivable? What is going to happen in accounts receivable? You will have customer master, and then you will have to create customer sale. You'll have to create customer credit memo, receive the payment from customer, accept advances from customer, make variety of reports to the customer from the customer account, like a customer outstanding, customer payment, down payment, aging, all this kind of thing. Standard even in SAP. Any business, no matter whether they use SAP or they don't use SAP, it's immaterial. Process will remain same because it is all about accounting. Same way if you talk about vendor. If you're talking about vendor, it's all about purchasing, right? If you go to vendor, if you go to purchasing, it is part of which process? Accounts payable.
Right, sir.
Now, accounts payable, what will happen? You need to manage your vendor. How you are managing vendor, how you are creating a vendor, right? And then how you are creating purchases, what entry you are posting, how you are posting the transaction, how do you record credit memos, returns, how do you record vendor advances, how do you process vendor payment, what kind of reports you will generate for a vendor. Same thing is applicable even in SAP. Same thing is performed expected by any business. Am I right?
Right, sir.
Similar way, when you start looking at a process, you start feeling comfortable. All you need is that comfort at the beginning. If you feel comfort, if you feel okay, something I'm able to relate, something I'm able to understand. Once you get into the system, it will give you clarity. It will give you peace of mind. Yes, I'm able to understand. I'm able to feel what is happening in SAP, how the reports are coming, how entries are being made, what settings are we making, why we are making setting. You can practically relate every dot. Otherwise, we will do the configuration, but we will not understand why we're doing it. All it comes in our mind is, okay, in the class, Ajay told me this configuration to be done. Here you need to go, this setting you need to make. You may be referring the recording. You may be referring the Excel sheet, screenshot, whatever I provide. Accordingly, you will do the setting. But if somebody is asking you, why did you do this? How will you do it? You may not be in a position to explain on your own way, right? That is more important. Tomorrow, when you go to the market or when you join a project, make sure you have sufficient knowledge, sufficient understanding to speak, to convince the other person. So, to achieve this, no other shortcut. You have to put proper effort right from basic. If you put the basics, if you put the effort right from the basic, it will not create any problem. It will give you a comfort that you will be happy with in future, not now. Now you may have to put a little more effort. You may have to get a little more confusion, little more struggling problem, but it's all to have a bright career, bright future going forward. Once you talk about this SAP best practices, you will understand what is what, how things are going to happen in SAP. Now, once these are all comfortable, once you're familiar with these points, you will get a kind of a feeling. Yes, I think now I'm feeling confident with the standard SAP. In FICO, what is there, how it is happening, you're able to understand. You take a simple example. You take something like purchases. If you take something like purchases, initially you'll have to talk about accounts payable to talk about purchases. Now, when you do a purchases, initially you need to do a basic level entry, right? Understand what is vendor. Okay, to enable accounts payable, what setting you'll have to do. Okay, I did the basic setting to enable accounts payable. Later on, how will I create a vendor? Okay, then how do I create the invoice? Okay, then how do I get the report? Look at a very basic level at the beginning. When I say look at a very basic level at the beginning, it will give you kind of a clarity, right? Okay, this is what is happening in SAP. Once this is done, you have to slowly improve the transaction. When I say you need to slowly improve the transaction, make sure at every transaction you put effort in such a way. How is it exactly done in a project? You have to visualize everything from a practical project point of view, from a practical real-time environment point of view. No more assumptions. No more assumption, no more imagination. Bring the reality into your practice. You think in such a way that, okay, if I am working in accounts payable department, if I am working in a company, or if I am running a company, how will I do it? What do I need from it? What kind of a controls I want and all? Because if you're, let's say, owner of a business, if you're owner of a business and you wanted to purchase something, you tell your employee to buy from anyone.
No.
All right. If you are the owner and you have the employees working in your organization, do you tell your employees, okay, we want this, right? Go purchase from anyone. What if your employee is, not putting proper effort? Whatever vendor that they get, they might be purchasing. This vendor may be charging higher price. Yes, no.
Right.
Later on, if you get any problem, you need to have the support from the vendor, right? Tomorrow, this vendor should be in a position to supply the goods or services without money also.
Yes, sir.
On credit basis, there are so many points to be considered. Not just like that, okay, anybody can come work in accounts payable, nothing like that. Because as you improve your business, you also need to have skilled people in your organization or not. You don't need freshers, right? Fresher is only at the base level. And as you grow, what you need expertise, you need experience of the candidate to bring the quality of work. Same thing is applicable even here also. Client will also tell that I want like this, I want like this. We have so many problems in this process. We have this expectation, we have that expectation. They will tell you so many things. They'll tell you so many things. They said that, in fact, I don't want any employee. Please automate everything. When they say we don't want any employee, please automate everything, which may not be practically possible, right? You need to see to what extent it is possible, because in the market you will see so many people talking about AI, artificial intelligence, people talking about robot, RPS, robotic process automations, this Joule, SAP Joule and all,
Yes, sir.
right? You would have heard something called SAP Copilot or SAP Joule agent.
Yeah, SAP
You need to
Joule.
understand,
Yes,
yeah, you need to understand so many things that are happening in the market. Accordingly tune yourself, accordingly ensure that you have right skill set, right understanding on the subject, with which once you are stepping into the job market, you feel competitive enough to secure a job. Else you will sound, or you will feel that you are outdated. You have the knowledge but outdated knowledge. You need updated knowledge, right, with what is happening with the base of your SAP FICO. Make sure you're equipping your skill set, upgrading your skill set in such a way that the moment you're out in the market, you are updated as per the current market standard. That should be the target. For this to achieve, we have to put a little more effort. Agree or not?
Agree, sir.
Not that, okay, casually, I know what is there in SAP FICO, this topic, this config, that config. That trend is gone. Those days, that era is gone. It will no more work in the market currently. If you stick to standard SAP FICO config logic and all, it doesn't work. For a simple example, go to ChatGPT, ask any question, will you get the answer or not?
We'll get it.
Right? Ask any configuration, you will get it or not?
We'll get, sir.
Right? ChatGPT will also tell you your date of birth if you ask yes or no, because you may be logging into ChatGPT with your Gmail, Google account, right? and it will have access to everything. Somewhere you would have given your date of birth in any of the application, in any of the place, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
You'll be
Yes,
surprised,
sir.
it will tell your date of birth also. Don't think that ChatGPT is great. It is stealing your data, right? Right? Because you're giving permission and it might tell you everything, but make sure you validate before you take it forward. So when you know that everything is coming, if you put Google, if you ask ChatGPT, if you ask any AI platform, if you know that you are able to get the information, then what is the use of you? If ChatGPT is giving the information, what is the use of you as a consultant? You should create the difference there, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Right? You'll have to create the difference wherever this AI, artificial intelligence cannot work. You'll have to bring the difference. Now, this AI, artificial intelligence, RPS, and all are going to replace or can replace the end user, not the consultant. So you don't have to worry about it. So you may be having a question, what will be the future of as a FICO consultant if all these things are automated? Consultant cannot be replaced by AI. Consultant cannot be replaced by any RPA or any kind of thing. It will only replace what? End user. You got my point? It can
Right,
only
sir.
replace end user task, not the consultant. Your role will still require as it is, and it cannot be replaced because this artificial intelligence will have to be created by manual intelligence, right? Which is a consultant intelligence. As a
Yes, sir.
consultant, you need to develop this artificial intelligence. This AI is going to replace consultant. Sorry, is going to replace the user, not the consultant. So there are certain doubts, questions, dilemmas that we will be having, right? So it's always better you come out of these dilemmas before you get into the system, which will give you clarity, which will give you confidence. If these points are keep poking our mind, we may not be in a position to focus, correct or not? Because you should be confident enough. Yes, I am learning this. This is what is happening in the market. Accordingly, you need to keep pushing yourself. Yes, what I'm learning is right. And you'll have to keep checking the current market, what is happening in the market, because you are now in SAP FICO. When I say you're now in SAP FICO, try to understand it, try to get to know what is happening in the current SAP FICO market. Because tomorrow you need to go to the market, right? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
All the effort you'll have to start working on it. Just get to know what is happening. If you have a friend, all this kind of thing, try gathering the information just to get an idea. That's it. You don't have to make any, research, all this kind of thing. Nothing is required. Just get to know, okay, you're learning, okay, you're attending interview, you're working, how is your work, how interviews are happening, what people are asking, what experience are asking, what topics are majoritarily focusing, all this kind of thing. When you get to know, it will add value, it will give you different kind of understanding as you move forward. And coming back to this, you need to understand SAP best practices, which I will be sharing. I'll share on the SAP FICO best practices document, which I'll also download from the SAP website, and then I'll share it with you so that you'll get to know what is this. Later on, we need to understand that, okay, before you do any configuration, there is a something called requirement. Now, this requirement is all about what you did previously. In the previous sessions, what we talked about company. When you talked about a company, we all opened the company website. We understood what products they are selling, how they categorized their product. Accordingly, we understood what is the company name, in which countries or in how many countries are operating, with which you decided whether it is a local company or it is a global company. Then you also decided what kind of a products they are dealing with. And then finally, you made a note of company name, country of operations, local company or a global company, what products are there, accordingly, what profit centers would be created. Yes, no? This is what is your initial requirement. Once you get this initial requirement, you know, okay, this is my company. Even in your baseline configuration, first settings are all about company code only.
Right, sir.
That's what we have seen, right? If you do not have a clarity on which company you will do it, You cannot do it, right?
Yes.
If you do not have a clarity what is your company that you are going to create, for sure later on whatever configuration you do, whatever practice you do is not going to add any value because you are going blindly. When I say you're going blindly, no direction, no logic, no thought process, no requirement, nothing. Only blind configuration may tell you how you have to do the system configuration, may become you expert in configuration, but will never allow you to become a successful FICO consultant because you're not getting the requirement, right? You're not going with the requirement. In the project, you will always go with the requirement. Stick to the requirement. If you do not have any requirement, don't practice SAP. Don't even log into SAP if you do not know the requirement. If you know the requirement, this requirement will tell you everything. It's all about you know what to do. Then you will have different ways to find it, right? How to do it? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
If you know that this is what I want to do, this is my plan, this is my requirement. This plan, this requirement will teach you everything. But if that requirement itself is not there, whatever we do is kind of okay, I'm doing, but I don't know whether it will work or not. It should not be the case. You should be sure shot. I know this is my requirement. I know this is what I wanted to achieve. To do it, I need to go in this way. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. You will try multiple ways. That is where you become expert. That is where you'll get to know how system is working, how system is behaving, which way will give you result, which way will not give you result. Initially, we all will fail. Initially, all of us will fail. Nobody will learn FICO straightforward because FICO itself is not straightforward. So it's not possible for you to learn straightforward. It creates a lot of confusions and all these are required so that you understand, okay, next time when you're in a project, you will think twice before you do anything. You will be thinking that, okay, if I do it, I don't think it will work. I think this is not possible. If I do it, then what about the reporting? If I do like this, what will happen to that? You start getting the questions or not in your mind if you know what will happen.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
If you know what will happen, you start getting the points striking in your mind, and this is very, very important in FICO. This is very, very important in FICO. Assuming that I have 100 rupees in my pocket. If I have 100 rupees in my pocket and I don't have any vehicle, I have to go using a public transportation. Maybe I'll go by a bus or I'll go by auto, which will cost me 20 rupees. How much it will cost one way?
20 rupees.
It will cost 20 rupees to reach to a point. Okay, I have to go there on some work. Okay, I went there. I spent 20 rupees. Now I'm left with 80 rupees.
Yes.
Right? Now assume that I'm feeling hungry there or I found something interesting there. Now I wanted to buy it. It is costing me, let's say, somewhere around 70 rupees, 100 rupees, 80 rupees, 200 rupees. Now I have a clarity or not?
Right.
How much I need to spend and how much I need to keep it with me?
Yes.
Or something, let's say, if it is something costing me 70 rupees. Okay, I have 80 rupees. Okay, I'll buy. Okay, give me 70 rupees I paid. I got the product or I purchased something. I have eaten something or spent something for 70 rupees. I am now left with 10 rupees.
Yes.
Now to go back home, I will struggle because I'm short of money
Yes.
because I did not think that if I spend 70 rupees, I will be left with only 10 rupees. To go home, I needed 20 rupees, right?
Right.
If I have clarity, my mind will tell if you spend 70, you will be short of 10 rupees to go home. Then I need to
Yes.
decide, okay, no problem, I'll go by walk or I'll take lift. I will ask somebody to come and pick me. Meaning your mind should act, right? It should tell you some different points, alternates. Otherwise, we have to stand and then cry there. I don't know how to do, what to do. I don't know, the person who sold me is not available. I had already eaten this. No way I can get the refund and all. You're getting my point?
Yes.
You need to have clarity before you do anything, especially on FICO. If you do not have this clarity, Once you do it, you cannot do anything. It's all about repairing. It's all about facing a lot of problems, consequences and all. Let us not get into it. If you know all these are practically possible problems that every FICO consultant face in their real-time experience. And when you know that all these are going to be faced by any real-time working FICO consultant, accordingly, you should also think, right? Which will give you at least a thought. A point should strike your mind. Okay, if this is the case, what will happen? If that is the case, what will happen? How should I do? Who should I approach? What should be my logic and all? If this is not there, blindly you are sitting, practicing, nothing will happen. You will end up, consuming a lot of data from your Wi-Fi. You will consume a lot of, electricity and all, but at the end, there will be no result. No result in such a way that which will give you happiness by getting a job. Put effort in a smart way, because in the current market, as I told you already, as we also discussed in the previous sessions, currently everybody wants smart people, right? They want people to be very smart in such a way that you can work in a different way, because everybody is aware everything you'll get from Google, ChatGPT and all. Then why they still need consultant? If you know what Google tells, if you know what Google does, ChatGPT does, no difference between you and Google, ChatGPT, right? Create that difference. That's where you need to understand business requirement. That is where you need to connect it with SAP. That is what you have to exactly practice. Now, in any project, you tell me now, shall we do the configuration directly, or we need to get the requirement and then do the config,
We need to get
Need to get the requirement and then we need to get the
right?
requirement and then we have to.
You'll have to get the requirement and then do the config. Now, getting requirement alone is not enough. Get the requirement and then understand the requirement. After you understanding the requirement, then you propose the solution, right?
yes,
First, you understand the requirement. Based on your requirement understanding, you propose a solution. Okay, we can do like this, we can do like this also. Tell me how you want it. Then client will select one. Okay, let's go ahead with this. Then accordingly, you tell that, are you sure that, okay, you want like this only? Yes, I'm sure. Then you document it. Then that document is called as blueprint. What document?
blueprint.
Business blueprint.
That is called as business blueprint or solution design document. In
SPT.
simple terminology, we call it as blueprint. Once the blueprint is prepared, you need to get the blueprint signed or blueprint approved, confirmed by the client. Only when they confirm, that is where you log into the SAP, then you start working on the configure. Till then, you don't do it. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Until then, you don't do it. It's as simple as like doctor is doing a surgery. Doctor is doing an operation. Doctor will not tell that, okay, you wait, I'll go do surgery. He will come and take your consent, right? Someone should sign before any surgery operation happens.
Yes,
That doesn't mean something will go wrong, right? But just that you know what I'm doing. Tomorrow, don't ask me why you did it. I already told you and you already confirmed it. There is a proof that I did what I told you, right? Something like that. There is a confirmation from the client everywhere. Without confirmation, without consent, nobody will do anything, because you know where you are going. Even if you book any cab, auto, taxi will come, but they will not go unless and until you confirm by telling your OTP, right?
yes,
Right. After telling OTP, you cannot say that why are you taking me here? Why did you bring here? That's what you booked, right? And later on, you're not supposed to change the route, deviate it, because it's all working based on the requirement, right? That was your requirement to go to that particular destination.
yes,
Meaning manipulations, changes are possible everywhere, but not allowed. Sudden changes are allowed, sudden changes are not allowed, because tomorrow there is something called responsibility, ownership. Yes, no?
yes, sir.
For everything, there is a something called responsibility, there is a something called accountability, ownership, which as a FICO consultant, you also should take care of it. Don't blindly say that, okay, I learned SAP FICO, I know configuration, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. Doesn't mean you can work in every project. Client requirement may be different. You never know how you will get different kind of scenarios or situation. Some places, any expert will have to suffer, any expert will have to struggle because it is something new to them. That is how, or that is what exactly happens in any FICO project. And if you are prepared with all these points right from the beginning, it allows you to think and work in an effective manner right from the beginning. Else, we will simply take it casually, right? Okay, these settings are very simple. I will do this, I'll do this. Later on, I'll do it. Weekend, I'll do it. If these are not clear, whatever you do, everything will be improper. So
Ajay,
all I want you to understand today is that without documentation, without discussing with the client, without understanding their current process, without proposing a solution to them, without getting a confirmation from them on the solution, we will not do any configuration in SAP system. Is this clear for everyone?
yes, sir. So I have a question actually, couple of questions related to the standard process you said. So when you say like there is a requirement and we should understand the standard process for that, like say if you don't know if there is any standard process exist for that requirement or not, is there a way we can find out? Or like it's only we know by understanding the standard process? How do we know
No, you
that?
can find out in the system itself. You can find out because in SAP for everything there is a path. What functionalities are there? What settings are there? By going to there, you can do it. Or for every functionality, SAP has got their own documentation. If you go to sap.com or if you go to help.sap.com, on every topic, SAP will tell what is the functionality, what is the solution provided by them. Just that there you will not get any configuration document, but what is the functionality, what is the feature, SAP official website has got everything listed in it.
Okay. And when you said the best practices you will download, can you show us also like how to download and how
Yeah,
to
I'll show it.
standard process as well, like how to check like if there is a requirement?
Yeah, I'll show all these things.
Yeah. So in our practice, actually, there is no one to give the requirement, right? Like actually, so we are just taking a one example, one company as an example, and we are trying to do that. That's how you explained us. So we will. How do we in the practice? How do we gather the requirement in this case?
We will do the practice in such a way that you will be in a position to make your own requirement. I'll make you understand scenarios in such a way that based on that, you will be in a position to take your own example. Like initially, we talked about a company, and everybody is now able to take a company on your own with
Yes,
their
sir.
product, all this kind of a thing. Meaning, every company that you're choosing, blindly, you're not telling a company name, whatever comes in your mind, right? Now you
Yes, sir.
understood directly, I cannot take any company that comes in my mind. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah,
You have a criteria now to choose this company, let me practice.
yeah, yeah.
That's how you will understand everything going forward. Because in any session, without understanding the requirement, without understanding the process, we don't configure anything in any of our classes. Such kind of thing I will not even explain. We will talk only when we understand what is this. If you do not know what is this, if you are not in a position to take your own example, if you are not in a position to connect what it is, there is no point you configure it, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You should know what you're doing, and then you should be in a position to verify whether what you did is right or wrong. Meaning, requirement, solution, expected result, you should be at least familiar with at the beginning, which will automatically take you to the destination with confidence, 100%, no doubt about it. And that's how we will proceed in all the sessions. That is the reason we are spending discussing all these points even before we get into the system. Otherwise, we could have configured at least 15% of our syllabus. But that way it will not make any difference. That way it will not give you any clarity. And that is not the reason we are here, right? We are here to understand in such a way that tomorrow you should be in a position to work independently. For you to work independently tomorrow, then today you have to put effort in a different way. And every effort of yours should give you the result, not now, when you're in the market. That's where I want you to realize it. Yes, this is what is helping me out. I can see I am comfortable, I'm confident. I can easily talk in the interview now. That confidence, when you feel after attending your first interview, it will motivate you to give more interviews, get selected, right? That will give you them some kind of confidence.
Yes, sir.
Instead, what
Yeah.
will happen after attending first interview, you will feel in such a way that Pakka, I'll not get any job. I understood. I'm sure now. With my knowledge, with my understanding, I'm sure I don't get any job. I made a mistake. This is what might come into your mind,
Yes.
which we should not get it. All I want you to do is don't get into this situation after giving your first interview. I want you to feel confident, comfortable, irrespective of the result. First few interviews, nobody will clear. First few interviews, nobody will clear. It's like a lottery. First few interviews are lottery because you do not know whether you get or you get better luck next time, right? It's very rare. But after giving first few interviews, I want everybody to ensure you're sure about getting selected. You will decide, yes, I think I cracked this interview. For sure, Pakka I'll get selected here. That level of confidence you have to hold after attending first few interviews. And nowhere you should feel afraid or nervous because of your subject, because you get subject in such a way that you are confident enough to clear any interview. There is no doubt about it, provided you put effort in a proper way, which we are going ahead with. Clear, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All
Hello.
right, so all I want you to remember from today's session is only one point. Without the requirement, okay, without understanding the requirement, without giving the solution to the requirement, you're not supposed to do configure anything in SAP, no matter what it is. It may be a simple tick, it may be an untick. Understand what is the requirement, accordingly work on it. If you do not know the requirement, please don't configure anything in SAP. Strictly not allowed. Because here we are not doing anything for experiment purpose, right? We are all here to learn something in such a way to get a job tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So experiments are not allowed. You're not supposed to experiment. Do it only after you got to know what it is. And for that, you'll have to put a little effort. Based on this effort, you'll understand, okay, this is the requirement. This is how we need to understand that thought process, whatever is there for a consultant, is what we need to develop at the beginning. If you develop that thought process like a consultant, you will automatically start feeling the difference. Going forward, even if I tell, okay, you configure this, you will not configure. You will tell me, give me a scenario, give me a requirement, because you understood without requirement, what will I configure? How will I configure? If you tell me the requirement, I can at least try it by Googling the configuration, right? But if I
Yes, sir.
don't know the requirement, how will I do it? So in the coming sessions, you will be coming to a stage where all you need from me is only the scenario, requirement, logic, business process. Accordingly, you feel that yes, I can configure it now. That confidence is what is very, very important for every FICO consultant, especially in the current market. Those days, whatever you heard, okay, no problem, you can easily manage. Those days, that a trend is gone. It's all outdated now. Now, currently, SAP has got so many new things, so many new technologies, advancement, improvements, AI, all this kind of thing. Make sure, considering all these points, you are competitive enough in the market. Don't just think FICO configuration, this, that, XYZ, that a trend is gone. You got my point, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That a
sir.
trend is gone. You have to be competitive in the market. You have to be smart. And for that,
Ajay,
the
we have
effort,
not
whatever
received
we
the
put,
recordings of
sorry,
earlier batches.
Actually, earlier batches, the recordings,
Yeah,
told that
I'll
we
talk why it was not given. I'll tell you. Once I stop the recording, I'll tell you the reason. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
hello.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
this AI, this you told ASIS document, it is the legacy system. We have to prepare the document.
Yeah. From the legacy system, client will tell the current process. That is what exactly we will do in the coming sessions. Once we start business process configuration, I will make you understand what is current process or what is as is process. The configuration, whatever we talked in the previous session, is all about baseline configuration. Am I right?
Ajay,
Yeah.
could you
Yes.
please
Oh,
outline the difference between standard
this is
process, baseline, and SAP best practice?
This I'll add once I take an example, probably in the coming sessions. I'll differentiate with proper structure. Okay, wherein you can visualize what is baseline, what is business process, where there is a standard solution, where there is no standard solution, where is the customization. I'll write with some examples. Accordingly, I'll make you connect so that it would directly connect to everyone without any difficulty. Understood, right?
Yes, thank you.
Sir,
Yeah.
what's the
Ajay sir,
difference
Ajay sir.
between
Hold on. Yeah.
what's the difference
Sir,
between as is document and blueprints? Is it a part of blueprint as is document?
yes. As is document is basically prepared to confirm your understanding is correct. For example, we both had a discussion on something on my, let's say I have some plan which I want to do it, and we both have a discussion on it. Okay, and I want you to work on it. So first, what I'll tell you what is my requirement, right? This is what I'm going to do, or this is what I'm planning to do. All this kind of a thing. Based on that, you need to prepare a document of your understanding and then share it with me. This is what we discussed about your plans.
Yes, sir.
Right, once you share this as is document, then I'll tell yes, these points are correct. Then you will prepare the official document, right?
Sir.
So your as is document is not the official document, it is only a confirmation on the current process. Based on the as is document, you'll prepare the blueprint, because as is document is a separate for every process. If you take any business, you have to collect the requirement from every department, AP, AR, GL, all this kind of thing, asset tax and all.
Yes, sir.
AP users are different, GL users are different, AR users are different, payment users are different, tax user is different, asset user is different, BRS user is different. Yes, no. And from all the user, you're the one who is going to sit and get the requirement. And blueprint is something which will be given to the management. Then when you prepare the as is document, prepare the document based on the discussion, send it to the respective process owner. Maybe you had a discussion on AP. Prepare a as is document or current process document on AP, send it to that AP user, ask them to confirm, yes, this is what we discussed and I covered everything. If anything to be added, let me know. AP user will tell, yes, everything is covered. Similarly, AR will tell, no, you mentioned at this point, this process is not correct. It should be like this. Maybe asset user will tell, no, you did not cover this point. I told you this also. Now you will get to know the corrections, confirmation from every individual user. After getting this, you will consolidate all the as is process, and then accordingly you will prepare a blueprinted document. Else, your blueprinted document may contain so many errors, right or wrong, incorrect process.
Yes.
You'll have clear cut understanding on this with valid requirements, with proper assignments given to you.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So
Ajay,
again,
Ajay sir, Ajay sir, you,
it would be
yes
great,
sir, you,
Hold on, yeah,
you
Imran,
can,
go ahead. Yeah.
so, we have a year-end conversion as well as a media presentation. So it would be great, if you explain us the scenarios for that as well in the upcoming session.
Yeah,
You know,
we will talk. We'll talk from a basic company creation until the balance sheet.
Yeah.
Whatever happens
Mhm.
in a real organization, in a real project, everything we will discuss in a sequential order so that one point will allow you to connect the other point
Yeah.
from a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, how reporting will happen, who will all look at
No,
these reports,
actually the conversions, like for an example,
ECC
you will
to
be teaching us, ah, like you will be teaching
ECC.
us the greenfield, like, right,
Uh-huh.
how the data will flow from the legacy systems to SAP.
Right.
Yeah. So that I
Yeah,
was
that we will
expecting
do.
that, yeah,
Once we do the
thank you.
configuration, that is where I'll talk about a trial balance. In those trial balance sessions, at the beginning only, we will do the data migration. Only after understanding the data migration from legacy to SAP, what are all the legacy migration data tools, ETL tools, all this kind of thing.
All right.
Only after that, we start posting regular day-to-day entries. Till then, we will not do any posting. It is
Okay.
exactly the same way that happens in any implementation project. Same approach we will take here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Ajay sir,
Okay.
Ajay
Yeah.
sir,
I have a question. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ajay sir, you have done a lot of company configurations. Sir, it is possible you can sir choose one company you have done already. Sir,
Hmm.
concept same but the figure change. So it is possible, sir.
We will do the
Sir,
similar way only. Whatever we've done in my experience and all, that is what I'll show it to you.
this
It's not that,
experience is a very important, sir.
no, but for you to understand it, you need to be familiar with the system. Once you're familiar with the system, that is where I will be giving different assignments as we progress. Maybe once the 2 months are over, you will be getting a lot of assignments, and every assignment is completely different with what I taught you in the class. But it is on the same topic, but I would have shown you different scenario, but I would have made you understand the concept. Based on that, I'll give you different practical project assignments like client requirements, business requirement, how you need to do and all. There you will get to know that yes, I am now working in a project. That kind of a feel I'll get you. Understood, right? But before that,
Okay.
you need to be familiar with playing with the system. Only when you're able to play with the system without any fear, confidently, comfortably, that is where I can make you work on the practical requirements, right? Because all the practical
So
requirements are tricky. For those things
suppose
to
Yes,
work, you
yes.
need to be comfortable on the practical process from your end, because you need to ensure you're able to work on this topic now. Only then I can give you different requirements, right? Different scenarios in that topic from a project point of view,
yes,
right? We will go in the similar sequence. You will have 100% practical consultant experience. There is no doubt about it. As I mentioned in the previous sessions, you can directly check with any working FICO consultant about what you're learning, what you're practicing, how you're practicing, what you're knowing, what doubts you're getting. You can directly check with working FICO consultants. No objection on it.
sir, I want to some one question, sir. Sir, every FICO consultant is a lacks experience when they enter in this market. Sir, you suppose, sir, you enter in market and suppose you are also a fresher.
Right?
So, sir,
Now the trend is different. That's what I'm trying to tell. Earlier trend was different. Now the current trend is different. Earlier, it was not possible for any fresher to get a job in FICO. You're aware of it? But now, if you see, there are many companies who are hiring freshers. Even without SAP consulting experience, there are many companies who are offering consultant jobs because of the technology, because of the advancement in the system. It's not so difficult like before to do configuration on the system. Everything is readily available. All you need to be good at is getting the client requirement, mapping the requirement, configuring, understanding how SAP works. That's where I told you have to be smart. The old logics, old method, it's all outdated now. You have to be completely in a different method to become a FICO consultant in the current market. You got my point, right?
Yes.
Which is what you will be understanding here, so that when you go to the market, the way people are expecting you to be good at on the subject, accordingly you'll have the knowledge. You don't have to worry about it. I'll take care of everything to ensure that you will get the sufficient knowledge which will get you a job when you're out in the market. In this, there is no doubt. You don't have to have any second thought about it. All I want you to do is strictly follow
Yes,
what
sir.
we're discussing, do the assignments that I give. Nothing else is required. Without any doubt, you will get the job in the market with your skill set, with your knowledge. Okay?
Yes.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, fine then. So the remaining we will discuss tomorrow.
So Ajay,